So what are the important reasons? Means there are so many natural causes and anthropogenic causes. Natural causes are like these forest fires or aerosol emissions from volcanoes or all such kind of basic things. So artificial or anthropogenic causes, so burning of fossil fuels, deforestation or agricultural or farming activities. So all of them, they are anthropogenic causes. Okay, just to go through, these are well understandable things and there is no complexity in this. Okay, so just go through these things. Okay, and very important. Yes.
Does transpiration comes into uh, does the transpiration contributes to release of water vapor?
Does
Transpiration.
transpiration, obviously transpiration releases water vapor. It is like release of water in the form of vapor from the plants. That is nothing but transpiration. Okay, so transpiration also it also releases water vapor. Okay, so this concept is very important. That is global warming potential of various greenhouse gases. So we have various greenhouse gases and these greenhouse gases have the potential to cause global warming. And this global warming potential is usually measured for over a period, and that period may range, commonly that would be in a range of 20 years or 100 years or it would be 500 years. So usually we will calculate and we will keep this as parameter. Okay, so when we look and compare various global warming greenhouse gases, so the global warming potential of various greenhouse gases is like this. So how means, usually we take the carbon dioxide levels as the threshold and it as a parameter for defining the greenhouse global warming potential. So this is the lifetime and this is the global warming potential. So usually carbon dioxide life time of carbon dioxide is 100 years. That means it can live up to 100 years in the environment. And in this period, carbon dioxide has the ability to cause 1 unit of global warming. You remember, like 1 unit in terms of global warming potential. And when we compare with the carbon dioxide, methane is very short-lived greenhouse gas. Short-lived. You see, this lifetime of carbon dioxide is 100, whereas lifetime of methane is 12 years. So it is a short-lived greenhouse gas with global warming potential roughly more than around 25 to 30 times greater than the carbon dioxide. Okay, so it is for a period of 100 years. Okay, so you remember 100 years is the criteria we are taking. If it is 20 years, then if you compare carbon dioxide as well as methane, methane is around 80 times more global warming, has more global warming potential when compared to carbon dioxide. So it varies. So if it is 100 years on basis we are comparing, so it is roughly 25 to 30 or 28. So likewise. So then if you see nitrous oxide, so its lifetime is around 120 years. And in 100 years, it has the ability to cause around 300 units or 300 times of the more global warming potential than carbon dioxide. Okay, so this is the global warming ability or potential. So based on this, we can arrange them in this fashion. So carbon dioxide has more carbon dioxide, and then methane, then nitrous oxide, then hydrofluorocarbons, then perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluoride. So this is the increasing order of the global warming potential. Okay, so arrange them. You may get questions like arrange the following according to their increasing or decreasing, ascending or descending order of their global warming potential. So you learn this sequence. Okay, so keep the values in mind roughly. No need to learn exactly, but learn roughly. Roughly means around 30 times, around 300 times, 130, 300. You remember, like then you remember something it is big, then you remember, likewise you can just keep it in mind. Okay, so that is one another. What? Yes, water vapor, that's what. So usually water vapor is a greenhouse gas which tries to maintain heat, but it is natural thing. So it is not a problem for us. Whereas all of these things are anthropogenic sources. So anthropogenic sources are they are nothing but the cause of concern for us. So that's why we are learning about this. Okay, so that is one thing. And here in this list, what about carbon monoxide? Is carbon monoxide a greenhouse gas? Is carbon dioxide a greenhouse gas or not? Carbon monoxide, sorry, carbon monoxide.
Yes,
Okay, so then we haven't listed anywhere and we haven't mentioned it anywhere. If you talk about carbon monoxide, you remember that carbon monoxide is also a greenhouse gas, but problem is that it is very short-lived greenhouse gas. You remember that it is a short-lived greenhouse gas whose lifetime is roughly days. Let's say 5 to 7 days is the lifetime of carbon monoxide. And during this time, what happens? Carbon monoxide reacts with other gases, and it gets oxidizes and it gets converted into carbon dioxide. Are you getting that? So carbon monoxide, it's a short-lived greenhouse gas, and that's why we are not talking from the perspective of global warming potential. Okay, remember carbon monoxide is one exceptional thing that you can remember. In this scale, if they are asking like carbon monoxide, then you mentioned that carbon monoxide has very least potential to cause global warming. You remember that one. So that is another thing that you have to keep in mind. Okay, so then climate change. So climate, which one? Carbon monoxide? Yes, carbon monoxide would be generally released through automobile exhaust. Okay, burning of fossil fuels or such kind of things. Okay, fossil fuels, petroleum, diesel. So all those things would be the sources. Okay, so climate change. Climate change means it is a common term that we are using. So climate change means change with reference to the climatic patterns. Okay, what do you mean by climate, and how can you differentiate with the weather? How can you differentiate it with weather? Yes. And climate? Climate is a long-term pattern of atmospheric conditions, whereas weather is a momentary state of atmosphere or various conditions. So climate is changing, and what are the various reasons, what are the various factors that are affecting the climate, and what are the impacts of this? Okay, so these are very general things, like you might be studying in geography also. Like, have you studied about continental drift theory? Okay, continental drift. So due to continental drift, climatic belts have got shifted. Can you able to recollect that? And in the similar fashion, like volcanic activity, which releases various gases into atmosphere that causes greenhouse global warming, and thus it leads to climate change. And variations in Earth's orbit. Earth's orbit is tilted. Okay, so we have that. Are you aware what is the angle of inclination, angle of rotation of Earth? Okay, so Earth has been tilted to 23.5 degrees towards its horizontal plane. So can you able to recollect all that things? So these are all like plate tectonics or ocean currents. So all of them are natural, and some of the natural factors, natural causes. So anthropogenic causes or factors means greenhouse gases, atmospheric aerosols, or changes in land use pattern. So they are all some of the artificial or anthropogenic factors. What do you mean by changes in land use pattern? Yes. Atmospheric aerosols. Aerosols means like particulate matter. Have you heard about particulate matter? PM 2.5, PM 10, PM 1, all those things. So aerosols means presence of some dust particles in the air. Air sol. So they would be dissolved in the form of dissolved in the air. So mixed up in the air, and they are nothing but aerosols. So common example, when you spray, you will get some droplets. So that is also aerosol. It is an example for aerosol, likewise. So that is one thing. So changes in land use pattern. What do you mean by that? How it can cause to climate change? Quickly, anyone?
land from agriculture to uses like urbanization and mobilize the surface. So that affects the cultivation rate.
Good. Good. So you see, the name itself, it indicates or says that changes in the land use pattern. So for example, there would be a land which is covered with forests. So now, in order to just go for agricultural practices, we may cut those forests and we may start agriculture. So land use is getting changed, the pattern of land use is getting changed, and conversion of that forest land into agriculture, or conversion of agricultural land into industrial land, industries, or conversion of that agricultural land into forest land or agricultural land into for other purposes like for habitable areas, constructing houses and all those things. So these factors in one way causing the global warming. Okay, so that is another cause. Okay, so they are all normal things, general things. Even if you go through, you can understand. Okay, so that's why I'm not covering in detail, because you might have studied this, like impacts means increased risk of drought, climate change, drought, forest fires. So then floods may occur, floods. So due to rise in the sea levels, there we can expect floods, coastal floods. So likewise, so glacial retreat and rising of sea levels. Glacial retreat, that means melting away of glaciers. So that is one another possible thing. So try to just go through the impact.